What is up, everyone? So, before we dive into this week's trading forecast for next week and reviewing last week, I just want to let you guys know, if you haven't already, subscribe and click that thumbs up button, of course. But most importantly, the 5-day free price action bootcamp is live. All you got to do is click the link in the description and you'll get access to that 5-day bootcamp and Discord. We'll email it to you all for free. And then if you choose to upgrade your Discord status into a higher membership, that is up to you. But to get in free, and that 5-day bootcamp is completely free. So click that link and join us on the inside. So this week, let's review what we projected last week. We had it wanting to come down into that fair value gap on the 4-hour and then take off up to this 50% of this wick candle right here on the daily. What happened this week? Well, if we go down to the 4-hour, looks like it came down into that fair value gap. And if we go to the daily even, fair value gap came down, went up to that 50% wick, and I was looking to get up here by the end of the week because of how strong price was. But I saw that rejection, and then I actually ended up taking 2 sells today. But I think we were pretty spot on. Come down, shoot up. So this week was pretty crazy because if you saw this move, you might have got scared and been like, okay, market structure shift, sell side. And you could have taken sells. But once we came into this fair value gap, you should have got out of your shorts and been looking to go back higher. So it's good to play both sides of the market. If you know if price is going down, where is it going to go down to? And your last line of defense. So if it happened to even come down to here, I would have gave up on looking to get up here by the end of the week. So great, played out, had some good trades this week. Take profit was a little shorter than I wanted to, just because I'm working on the strategy of just going in multiple trades but having smaller take profits. For me, that just mentally strengthens me and lets me know I do know what I'm doing. Because even some of the losers I've had these past couple months would have been winners if I just had smaller profit targets, waited for price to readjust, and then get in on another small scalp. So definitely going from that intraday play to more of a couple scalps session, and it's been treating me very well. I didn't want to be a scalper, but my consistency is so far found through scalping. So got to make changes and stick with what works. So let's get into February. This week ends on February 3rd. So let's go ahead and break this down and do our projections for the week. All right. So we are almost to these relative equals on the S&P. We are in this fair value gap on the NASDAQ. And on the last one, kind of lagging a bit on the Dow Jones. Still got these relative equal highs. Price has kind of been messing around with this high. I think next week we should have a run for our money up through these levels after a short pullback in the beginning of the week. That is just my guess off the bat. So let's take this picture. Nothing's really changed. If you see, there was that fair value gap filled in and then took off. So I do want to see price keep moving higher. I have nothing down here to target unless we really melt off and come down into this area. So the closest area is on the buy side. So I would like to get to that buy side target first before we readjust our look on the market. So still bullish. Let's get to these zones. And then we're going to go down to the E-mini for the daily. Let's take off all these drawings and start fresh this week. Let's put our daily buy side and sell side in there. Now, what do I think is going to happen beginning of next week? I think we're going to dip in down here and then push up, clearing. I would like to see it come above this because this would be those relative equals right here. But for sure, 50% of this wick. So let's re-put that 50% in. I'm just using the fib, getting that 50%, and then halfway through the letters is 50%. Okay. I like to put them as blue, and then just text 50% of wick. Okay. That's right above this daily buy side liquidity. So we were almost there today. That's still a target I would like to shoot for next week. So I think we're gonna have that wick come down, fill this fair value gap in, and then move off. So let's fill this in real quick. So we got that target as well. And then back up. And if we happen to break this level, there's a gap way up here. We could potentially, maybe not just next week, but this could be a long-term target that we're going for. So let me put that in as a liquidity void. And I've been liking these more solid colors recently, so I'm going to put that in and just make it a little darker. All right. Let's go down to the 4. Actually, I got to take a screenshot. Okay, let's go down to the 4 hour now. And you can see where that fair value gap was. It kind of wicked around already. Even down here, it pierced this one. So we may drop lower. We may not, though. But if it does come down into this 4 hour fair value gap, we don't need to sweat it too much. But I don't think it's going to come down this low. Could be wrong. Got to mark it out anyways. And then if you take this order block down here is that 50%. So worst case, this is like my last line of defense. If we break below this, probably gonna come down into this area, but it's not what I'm focusing on. We're focusing on the upside. So probably that daily fair value gap, maybe into this order block and back up. That would be the ideal move. Let me zoom out a little bit. Take this 4 hour screenshot. All right, so that's it for the futures. That's what we're looking for on the E-mini S&P. Let's break down the dollars now. So on the dollars, we said it was going to go up into this order block and possibly this liquidity void. Just going to update these with my new colors. And I did want to see the dollar come down into here as well. We're not there. It is stalling out. So we may be pulling back up into this zone right here. And that means it would come down into this gap, this liquidity void. Like I said, I would like to see it come up, the euro into this liquidity void, and the dollar drop down this order block before we get that reversal up into these zones. And I feel like once we hit this, then we're going to get it back into a nice market to trade the EU. I did have a winning trade in EU and then another short scalp just because I wasn't in a trade and I was still on the charts and a setup formed, but still not actively trading this. I do want to start just swinging it just to compound the account and not really focus too much on it. So that'll be the goal for this year. Start scalping the futures. So there's really no change on here. I just need to update this for the week. All right, so currencies are out of the way. Let's go down to the dollar, the EU, euro dollar pair. And on the daily, so for the dollar to get stronger, the euro to get stronger and the dollar to get weaker, that would get us into this zone down here. But the dollar kind of stalled out and the euro didn't move too much higher. So we did get a little bit of movement, but overall it's kind of, so if you look from Monday low to the Monday or the Friday low and the Monday high, kind of just sat in this range. Really didn't get too much. It was just kind of back and forth. So Still looking good though to come down into the zone, but we just gotta be patient and wait and see how it plays out. So looking for sells this week. We did break above this liquidity here. We were kind of short of this, so there's a lot of relative equals. So spike up into this range would be a target. So we might come up here before coming back down to here. So short-term buys, and then longer term should flip us. That dollar should start getting stronger, and then we'll come back down, even probably down into this area, but we don't need to mark all that up. We'll keep it like this for the pictures. Okay, down to the 4 hour now. You could definitely start to see these wicks filled in the gap, or the fair value gap. More came down here, took out liquidity there. So we don't need to take out this wick if it's had liquidity. If anyone was long, it was still in long, taken out. Then anyone got long, still in their position, got taken out. So that itself, having those 3 different swings that got taken out, doesn't really need to come down below this. But if it does, we're looking for it to not break this down candle right here, most likely around the 50% with that wick and the whole, like from top wick to bottom wick, 50%. If it happens to come on here, we still want to look for bullish trades. On the 4 hour, not much I want to add. We just got liquidity up here, so we'll add in the buy side and sell side. And then go down to the 4 hour. I should have put that on the daily, but it's fine. So I think we're going to take out buy side first at the beginning of the week, but not my main focus. I would like it to show an actual good setup. There's really no setup for me right here to swing it. So we'll wait for price to open on Sunday and Monday in London and see how it goes. So, all right. So we got all our setups. We got our markups. You know what to do. We got to journal it now. I hope all of you guys are doing this, because if you don't do this, you may not want to put in the work, and you may think, it's fine, I got it. I spent lots of time, and I mean few years, not documenting everything I did, and I would fall in the same loop. Get profits, lose it, then lose more money, get profits, get back to around break even, lose it again. And it was just a vicious cycle. Ever since I started documenting, having a game plan for the week, I've been a lot more consistent, and I'm still fine-tuning my system, but we are going in the right direction consistently. And if you're not doing this, just listen to me, please. Journal and document your week and get ready, as well as your trades for daily. Notion is the place to do it. It's super easy, and it's free, and it's amazing. If you can, if you don't want to use it, use Excel or Google Sheets. But I just like the way this lays out. So we're in week 1 of February. You'll notice I'm in different clothes. It crashed. Still had part 1. So let's finish up in Notion for the week. So put the new picture in. Still looking for the equal highs to be swept. And the fair value gap, we're almost to that 50%. So pretty much if it gets cleared, we're looking to take out this high when it goes up to these relative equal highs. Put in the daily and 4 hour now of the E-mini SMP. So we got that pull back into the 4 hour fair value gap and then continued bullish. We are now looking to pull back into the fair value gap and continue bullish. Pretty much the same thing, except it's not the 4 hour, it is the daily now. It can go to the 4 hour one, but I wouldn't. I just like to see sell side get tapped, go to that fair value gap, and then off to the races. Okay, so now let's do the EU, or no, it's the currencies. Same thing, looking for a continuation. You can see on that dollar, we almost flatlined. So what I think is going to happen, we're going to get that nice wick to tap in down here, get people tricked on the sell side before we go back up on the buy side. That is my forecast into the February month. Let's add in the daily and 4 hour now. All right, so EU looking to hit that daily fair value gap and then reverse to the upside to this daily fair value gap or higher buy side liquidity, which would be above this right here. That is our week review and projections. And if you're not already, click that subscribe button, click that thumbs up, and join the 5-day boot camp. Even if you're an experienced trader, it's a great exercise if you're looking to start trading new pairs, or if you really just want hardcore data on the pair you already traded. Get those percentages and probabilities hard coded in a sheet so you have that data to reference and continue to update in the future. Have a good week of trading. Talk to you next week. Peace.